There's something we need to get to the bottom of. Yes, who killed him? Why? Could it happen again? And what is going on with this transgender stuff, which seems to be at the root of the assassination?
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
The very last question may be hard to hear because he says it very, very quickly. The asker, he's a little bit nervous perhaps. Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Too many. It's true. We have a partial list, all right? A partial list. And it's a mental illness. And transgender, more than mass shootings, we've got stabbings, axe attacks, bank robberies, you name it, it's been done. And something else to consider, the riots during Black Lives Matter. You know, Black Lives Matter is a trans movement. It is totally bizarre. It's not just George Floyd and no, there's a whole undercurrent of transgenderism with the entire movement. It is crazy. Now, we added somebody else to that list because you may remember the protest that happened outside of Justice Kavanaugh's house. That was crazy. After the Dobbs decision was leaked, right? Now, these people are all in violation of the law. You are not allowed to do it. There is a federal law that says you cannot parade in front of a judge's home. And they did. And the Biden administration let it happen. And they had exhortations from Chuck Schumer to show up and be violent. I still can't get over this, and I don't know why he's not in handcuffs.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you.
For all their complaints about MAGA and how intense sometimes the rhetoric can get, no one on our side says this kind of stuff. Nobody. And they lie about white supremacy and all that nonsense. And so maybe taking Chuck Schumer's lead there, this guy shows up. You heard about this, right? Nicholas Rosk with a bag full of weapons. He shows up at Judge Kavanaugh's house, intent on killing the guy and his family. All of this stuff, was able to walk right up to the front door. He almost pulled it off. Now, we have an update in this case as it makes its way slowly through the court system. Nicholas is now Sophie. Yes, a transgender person. And this means special status. Who knows? Did they move him to the girls' prison? Is that what it's all about? Who knows? But that was a crime, that they let that guy get as close as he did, and they knew it was a danger. They knew they called for it, and they still pretended. They played dumb. That's what they did. Remember this person?
We have been pretty clear on this. The president has been very clear that we condemn any intimidation of judges in this specific question here. Peaceful protest. People should be allowed to be able to do that.
Wow, she was really articulate, wasn't she? You can't protest actually anywhere you want. It was against the law. Let me see the law first, if you don't mind. There's a specific federal law. Yeah, 18 U.S. Code 1507. Pickets or parades in or near a building housing a court of the United States, or in or near a building or residence occupied or used by such judge, juror, witness, or court officer shall be fined or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. And what was happening in front of that house? It was a damn near riot. All right. Well, now there's a transgender angle. And I recall yet another transgender matter where the person was essentially let go. Who remembers the spy, Bradley Manning, right? Leaking all of that stuff. Well, Bradley became something else. I think, yes, Bradley became Chelsea. And isn't that just fabulous?
And I think that a lot of people either projected on their idealisms or their fears or anxieties. I would say surface level understanding of me as a person.
I don't want any deeper than that. I'm good. I'm good. You're a spy. You just belong in prison. Actually, you do, technically. Sentenced to 35, drop the banner. 35-year sentence commuted by Barack Obama on the way out the door in January of 2017. Why did they do that? Did it have something to do with the transgender? I think it may have. You know, Barack Obama has a real soft spot for transgender, and of course, so does Joe.
To everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you. Jill, Kamala, Doug, our entire administration sees you for who you are. And know this, you're so brave, you belong, and we have your back.
You know, what would our founding fathers have done had they known the direction the country was ultimately going to take? Huh? What would they? As they're meeting in Philadelphia, they had people who dressed up in women's clothes back then, too, to make the whole government the focus of effort. And what would they have thought of that White House situation when it became transgender visibility? Yeah, talk about visibility. Lewd conduct right there on the White House lawn. All right, so this stuff is actually at the heart of why they killed Charlie Kirk. They're so insistent on this depravity, right? Especially with children. Charlie always said, if you're an adult, fine, but hands off the kids. And Joe was specifically talking about children. Children, we see you. Joe, you shouldn't even be looking at kids, all right? It's kind of nightmarish. Now, there's another aspect to this that I haven't heard anybody actually bring this up, but it's very much front and center. The furries. You heard about the furries? What's up with the furries? There's a furry component to this. First of all, the boyfriend was a furry, but the boyfriend, we should point out, law enforcement tells us knew nothing about the assassination planning, right? Kind of the victim in all of this. Nevertheless, it looked like the shooter was possibly also a furry. What is a furry? Let's go through it. It's a little bit news to me, right? They dress up in these crazy costumes and they go all over the place. They go to conventions, they meet each other, they stay in hotels. It seems to be like a lot of them out there. And then, well, what do? Do they play games? Do they run around like lunatics? They just run around like cartoon characters. Roll the tape if we have it. Oh, actually, first, I should go through the legal definition. What the hell is it? Furries are members of a subculture interested in anthropomorphic animals, which are animals with human traits, such as the ability to speak or walk on two legs. Yeah, like Bugs Bunny, I guess. These individuals often create and wear costumes called fursuits that represent their animal alter egos or fursonas, okay? Furries are open-minded and supportive of LGBTQ plus rights, and some transgender individuals find a sense of belonging and acceptance within the furry community. Each person's experience may vary, and there can be individuals who identify with both communities. So the more I read about this stuff, I knew they were holding something back. They were talking around an issue. So they do this thing, and yeah, you can feel it when you watch it. There's something going on that they're not saying out loud. I finally found a guy, right, who, I don't know if he's into this stuff, but he's pretty much a straight shooter. I'm telling you, nobody else wanted to say what this stuff is really about. Sex.
For some people, being a furry can also take on a sexual dimension, and there are some conventions that have become known for that kind of thing. But most of the research and stories we came across were about the appeal of trying on a new identity. Many furries can be shy, reserved, and socially anxious in real life. Many are also neurodivergent, often having autism, ADHD, or Tourette's syndrome, and can struggle to feel comfortable in a world that doesn't always understand them.
All right. He said it. How many categories can we have, right? The LGBTQIA+. This must be the IA+ stuff in the LGBTQ. The shooter had a boyfriend/girlfriend/furry. And again, I don't want to blame anybody who's innocent here, and it sounds like that guy on the right is innocent, the guy who wanted to be a girl. I'm not mocking anybody, but I am getting a little bit confused, and there's a lot going on here. And it may even be confusing to the authorities, but we have a duty actually to understand what the hell really happened. And I don't know, do we have to look into these furries a little bit more? This is the Utah State's attorney who's prosecuting the entire matter. And you heard about fascist catch this and all these kind of fascist, anti-fascist, Antifa messages on the bullets. Well, there was something else too.
And only a single round was fired. Each round in the rifle contained an etched inscription as follows. The fired cartridge was etched, "No Tice's bulge, OWO, what's this?"
All right, now what is that? It was a mystery to him too. Let's put it up on the screen. OW, notices bulge, OWO, what's this? That was written on the bullet. Notices bulge, OWO, what's this? And we know from the text messages, texting the boyfriend after the shooting, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge, UWU, or I think OWO, I don't know, on the news, I might have a stroke. Well, it's on the news. I don't know if it gets TV there in the jail in Utah, but I still don't know what this thing is about. Now, there are people who study this meme stuff, and they actually document it, and they're into it. And let's see if we can find out the mystery of what these words mean on the side of the bullet.
Notices bulge. Oh, whoa, what's this? Originates from furry roleplay copy pasta. The phrase dates back to DeviantArt in 2013 and became popular in 2015 after an Imagear meme depicted furry roleplay chat logs with lines such as, nuzzles you and notices your bulge, oh whoa, what's this?
Okay, that was really fast. I listened to it 3 times. I have no idea what is going on. This cartoon is very significant in the community. So I found another guy to explain the whole situation. Again, this is on the side of the bullet. This is like one of the motive. Who knows? But I want to know. So check this out.
Notices bulge is a phrase that makes fun of furry role-playing online. In these roleplays, people often act out exaggerated, affectionate actions like nuzzles on you or pounces on you. These phrases are typed out online, in forums or in chat groups, in a descriptive way. The phrase notices bulge specifically parodies a roleplay line where one furry notices another's bulge, meaning the outline of someone's crotch.
Kind of get it. Kind of get it. I don't know why it takes all those words. Look, let's face it. It's a little bit weird, but whatever floats your boat, if you're not going to shoot anybody and you're not going to get children involved, right? Okay. Now, there's something else, another angle here that may have fueled some of this. Video gaming. There's something called Furry Shades of Gay, and, well, it's very big in the furry community, and you know that Discord app that they were chatting on, all those messages we found later? Is it a component of this? And what is it, by the way, Furry Shades of Gay? Do we have a definition? I think we just might. Oh, boy. Furry Shades of Gay is a game about love, queer relationships. What? All right. Everybody would have been better off if they stopped improving video games in 1975. This is all the video game I think anybody needs. It's actually very, very cool. So is Asteroids, Space Invaders, and that about does it for me. So Charlie Kirk, we'll never forget him. We'll always be learning from him, always. You can study his teachings and his writings for the rest of your life, and you'll never get to his level of intellect. But what can I say? We're going to miss him, but his influence will grow.